Another type of pollution is soil pollution. Now, soil pollution can be caused by the following. One is accidental spills. So, pag sinabi nating accidental spills, ito yung aksidenteng pagkatapon ng mga chemical or anumang bagay na pwedeng makasira sa lupa. So, minsan, kung hindi natin namamalayan, tinatapon natin yung mga tubig ng baterya, yung mga hindi nagagamit na household chemicals or binabaon natin sa lupa. So, yung mga bagay na yan ang nakapagdudulot ng polusyon sa lupa. Yan ang tinatawag natin na accidental spills. Another cause of soil pollution is acid rain. Now, usually acid rain is associated with air pollution. If the air is heavily polluted with heavy metals or any toxic gases, when it rains, these particular chemicals and the toxic materials that are airborne or that are found in the atmosphere will come down in the form of acid rain. Now, acid rain has a very negative effect on buildings and statues because it may cause discoloration or destruction of those infrastructures. Another cause of soil pollution is intensive farming, like what we have discussed in our previous topic. So, intensive farming, particularly overgrazing o yung sobrang dami ng hayop na kumakain ng mga damo, will cause also soil pollution every time that they defecate. Then those feces or animal waste can also cause soil pollution. Another type of or another cause of soil pollution is deforestation. Now, deforestation is the act of removal or destruction of forested areas. So the removal of trees or the cutting of trees is deforestation. Now, trees are very helpful in absorbing water as well as absorbing air pollution. So, also, certain substances are being absorbed through their roots. So once a forested area is deforested, automatically that area or the soil in that area becomes acidic, and later on it will also lead to desertification. Then another cause of soil pollution are what we call as GMOs or genetically modified plants. Now, genetically modified plants, these are plants whose genes are altered in such a way that either they become more progressive with regards to production, growth, etc. Now, many claim that genetically modified plants can also produce pollution, such as toxic substances coming from them that may also affect the health of the soil. Then we have also your nuclear waste. These are the nuclear waste products from nuclear power plants that may release radiation, thus destroying also the soil. Then we have industrial accidents or the accidental leaking or releasing of industrial substances going to the soil. Then we have also another effect or another cause rather of soil pollution is landfill and illegal dumping. So when we say landfill or illegal dumping, this is on the mismanagement of garbages wherein they are placed on landfills or they are illegally dumped in areas. Then another cause is land erosion. So every time that there is land erosion, there is siltation, and at the same time, the topmost covering of the soil is eroded or removed. Then we have also the agricultural practices such as application of pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers. Now, the use of pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers is a common practice among farmers. So, palaging ginagawa ito ng ating mga magsasaka. Ang hindi maganda rito ay madaling masira yung lupa dahil nagiging dependent na ito sa mga chemical para lamang gumanda ang kanyang production. Then another causes of soil pollution is mining and other industries. We all know that mining involves a lot of chemicals in the process to extract gold. So those chemicals are either thrown on land or on the soil, thus contaminating our soil. Then we have also oil and fuel dumping, yung mga grasa na pinagpalitan natin during our oil change of our vehicles. They are irresponsibly dumped or thrown on soil or buried under the ground, contaminating it. And also wrong burying of waste. It is not advisable to bury our waste because sometimes this waste can contaminate our drinking sources or water sources. And also, another cause is disposal of coal ash or any form of ash. It can cause the acidity or alkalinity of the soil, which will affect the growth of the plants. Then disposal of ammunitions and agents of war. When we say ammunition, ito yung mga kinalawang ng mga bala ng kanyon, mga bala or any form of weapon that is not anymore usable na itinatambak or inihuhukay sa lupa. Then another cause of soil pollution is the improper drainage of contaminated surface water into the soil. So most of the time, especially in industrial areas, there are wastewater coming out of those industries. So those wastewater, when they are released on top of the soil, it will contaminate the soil surface. And also with electronic waste o yung mga electronic devices natin na napaglumaan na hindi na nagagamit ay tinatambak yan sa lupa, which also causes soil pollution. Then another type of pollution is your noise pollution. So many of you are not familiar and do not consider noise as a form of pollution, but noise is really a form of pollution because it can disturb not only our sleep, but it can also disturb our concentration. And excessive noise or very loud noise may also affect the normal balance of our body. Okay, so you cannot concentrate, you cannot focus. Okay, so that is one effect of your noise pollution. Then we have also light pollution. So yung ilaw. So light can also become a pollutant, or it can also be considered as a pollution, especially if there is an excessive uh, number of light that are opened at night. It may distort the normal pattern of some insects or some organism, and including humans. Sometimes excessive light may affect the way on how they sleep. So that's the reason why light is also considered as a form of pollution. So another topic that we are going to discuss is on resource depletion. So when we say resource depletion, it is the exploitation of our natural resources. So ito yung sobrang paggamit ng ating mga natural na yaman. So paggamit tayo ng gamit at hindi ito binabalik, so tendency na uubos yan. Then another one is what we call as overdrafting of groundwater. So pag sinabi nating overdrafting, ito yung excessive na pagkuha natin ng tubig sa ilalim ng lupa. So nagkakaroon ito ng mga hindi magandang epekto sa kalikasan at pati na rin sa supply ng tubig. Yan ay yung mga tinatawag na natin na over-exploitation o sobrang paggamit natin sa ating mga natural resources. So under your resource depletion, there are certain terminologies that you should also be familiar with regards resource depletion or exploitation of natural resources. One is consumerism. So when we say consumerism, these are the characteristic of the humans or people to excessively utilize even if it is not a particular need or it is not an essential need. So there are tendency marami sa atin na kahit hindi naman kailangan gamitin, dahil lang gustong makiuso or dahil lang gustong magkaroon ay ginagamit natin ng mga ito. So minsan may mga bagay tayo na binibili or kinukuha na hindi naman talaga kailangan. Yan yung tinatawag natin na consumerism. And then sa fishing naman, sa sobrang pangingisda, dahil ng mga nangyayari ngayon sa ating karagatan, nagkakaroon tayo ng resource depletion sa mga isda dahil sa overfishing. So sa overfishing, either ito ay dahil sa blast fishing o paggamit ng dinamita. Then we have bottom trawling o yung paggamit ng malalaking lambat hanggang makarating ito sa kalaliman ng dagat at masira yung mga coral reef. Then hihilain yan ng mga barko. So in the process, sa anumang size, nahuhuli yan. Malaki or maliit, nahuhuli ng bottom trawling, which is not a good practice in fishing. Then we have also cyanide fishing, yung paggamit ng chemical sa pangingisda. So nakakalason ang cyanide. So hindi lang yung isda pwedeng mamatay, pwede rin yung tao nakakain ng isda na ginamitan ng cyanide. Then we have also what we call as ghost nets. These nets are very tiny, wherein all or yun lang pinakamaliit na isda ay nahuhuli. Kaya hindi rin maganda yung uri ng paggamit ng ganitong uri ng net. Then unreported and unregulated fishing. So when we say unreported and unregulated fishing, sometimes fish has a particular season. So may mga panahon yung mga isda na lumaki, magparami, mangitlog, etc. So pag during their mating season and yung pangingitlog, dapat hindi natin hinuhuli yung mga yan. So pag malalaki na, so kailangan may susundin tayo na season or panahon sa paghuli ng isda. So magkakaroon din tayo ng overfishing or sobrang pangingisda, panghuli ng pating para kunin lamang yung kanyang palikpik dahil yung shark fin ay isang delicacy or pagkain sa ibang bansa gaya ng China. Hindi naman nila kinakain yung buong laman or karne ng pating, kundi yun lang kanyang palikpik dahil yung palikpik ginagawa ng mga Chinese na sopas or shark fin soup, which kill and destroy the number of shark at sea. Then also whaling. When we say whaling, mga balyena, mga whales. So there are some countries that still catch or kill whales because of their fat, yung kanilang taba. Usually ginagamit kasi yung taba ng whaling for the production of wax that are made into cosmetic materials. Then with regards to logging, there are different types of logging. We have clear cutting, kung saan kakalbuin mo yung buong bundok or kagubatan. And then deforestation, unti-unti na pagkakalbo ng buhok. Pwede rin sanhi ito ng kaingin o yung slash and burn method. Then we have also illegal logging. So illegal logging is a practice where the loggers do not replant or hindi sila nagtatanim pag nagpuputol ng kahoy at wala silang permit. Then in mining, there are also certain effect of mining in our environment, like acid mine drainage, wherein the chemicals that are utilized in mining may also affect our water sources. And also environmental impact of hydraulic fracturing. So pag gumagamit sila ng mga makina sa paghuhukay, so pwedeng magkaroon ng stress or crack yung mga bato that may later on cause landslides. And mountain top removal mining. When we say mountain top removal mining, this is also known as strip mining o yung unti-unti na pagtapyas sa bundok hanggang maging patag yan para makuha yung mga mineral content ito. And then we have also one effect of mining is the slurry impoundments. Slurry impoundments are yung reserva or pinaglalagyan ng lahat ng mga nagagamit nila na chemical, also including sediments coming from water that have soil particles in it. They are placed in a certain reserva wherein the accumulation of slurry materials may form. And last, we have water depletion. So water depletion is already being observed in many areas, not only here in the Philippines, but around the globe. There are already what we call as anoxic waters, wherein these bodies of waters have a high content of chemicals or heavy metals that may cause either abnormalities or may cause other types of sickness when accidentally taken inside our body. Then the problem of Aral Sea, this is a part in the Mediterranean wherein the seawater is slowly evaporating, causing now formation of salt lakes. And so yung parte ng dagat na to unti-unti nang lumiliit at nawawala. Then we have your California water wars wherein pinag-aagawan nila yung water sources in California dahil in California they have a lot of farmlands, they have a lot of animals there, cows particularly. So large number of animals will need large volume of water. So nagkakaroon sila ng agawan ngayon ng sources of water. And we have the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is also found in the Middle East, particularly near Israel, and I think in Egypt. So the Dead Sea is a body of water that has a high salt content. So kahit hindi ka marunong lumangoy, ay pwede kang lumutang sa Dead Sea dahil sa taas ng kanyang salinity or sobrang dami ng kanyang dissolved salt or asin. So in Lake Chad, that is another body of water in in America or in at the US where it is already being slowly drying up, and also water scarcity or yung pagkakaroon na ng kakulangan sa mga water sources natin. So those are some of the most common effect of resource depletion with regards to overexploitation of our natural resources. So another effect of environmental issue is on the production of waste materials. So there are different waste materials that are being produced, not only globally, even here in our country. One type of waste that is generated is electronic waste. So when we talk about electronic waste, these are now the electronic devices that are already obsolete. They are not being used anymore, or yung mga hindi na gumagana ng mga electronic devices natin gaya ng lumang radyo, lumang TV, lahat yan nagiging basura. So karamihan sa mga yan ay hindi nare-recycle. So ang nangyayari ay naiipon, naitatambak at dumadami ng dumadami. So isa pang uri ng waste, we have the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is located in the Pacific Ocean, kung saan doon sa dagat na sa Pacifico or in the Pacific Ocean, there is a large patch of garbage floating. So merong lumulutang na parang kasing laki ng isang isla or island na punong-puno ng basura. Sa laki nito ay napagkakamalan minsan ay isang isla or island. So lahat ng mga basura natin na tinatapon natin sa tubig, nakakarating yan sa dagat at naiipon ito sa may Pacific. At ito yung tinatawag natin na Great Pacific Garbage Patch. So sobrang laki nito, napagkakamalan ng ilan na isang isla na lumulutang. Another form of waste is on the illegal dumping of waste materials, either on land or at sea. Then we have also incineration or waste being generated by incineration. So incineration is the process of burning waste or garbages. So dahil naubusan tayo ng mga dump site or pinagbabawal na yung pagtapon ng basura sa lupa, merong mga ibang country na gumagamit ng incineration o yung pagsusunog ng basura. So incineration also produce other type of waste. So totoo nga na nasusunog, pero in the process, meron naman lumalabas na bagong uri ng basura. So one form of waste that is generated during incineration is the production of carbon dioxide, ash, and other particulate matters na maliliit that may also affect our health, particularly pag pumasok yung mga particles na yan sa ating ilong, papasok sa ating baga, causing now severe pulmonary diseases. And then another form of waste is yung litter. When we say litter, ito yung mga maliliit na bagay gaya ng papel, mga plastic ng ating mga chichirya. So kahit pakonti-pakonti yan na tinatapon natin, nauipon at naiipon yan at dumadami. Then another form of waste is waste disposal incidents. So when we talk about waste disposal incidents, ito yung mga insidente kung saan may mga ilang lugar o mga bansa na tinatapon ang kanilang basura sa ibang mga bansa. So gaya ng mga cases natin noon na may mga basura na galing sa Australia, Canada, and in other European countries, binabagsak nila yung basura nila rito sa Pilipinas. So hindi maganda yung ganitong uri ng proseso kasi bawal yan. Basura mo, hindi pwedeng itapon sa mga neighbors o sa mga kapitbahay. So maraming uri ng insidente na may maling pamamaraan sa pagtatapon or pag-dispose ng basura. And then we have marine debris. When we say marine debris, these are garbages floating at sea. Ito yung mga basura na lumulutang sa dagat. So hindi lang ito nakakain ng mga marine or animals gaya ng mga pawikan, isda. Pwede rin ito na mapunta or makaapekto sa kalusugan ng tao. Then we have medical waste, yung mga basura na galing sa mga hospital. So may mga hospital tayo na yung kanilang drainage o yung kanilang basurang tubig, direktang itinatapon sa mga ilog at yung ilog na yan nako-contaminate and then yung dumi na yan umaagos sa ilog papunta sa dagat. Okay? So, maraming uri ng medical waste from maliliit na karayom sa mga ginagamit na mga towel, mga cotton. So, minsan hindi tama dapat ang mga ganitong uri ng medical waste ay sinusunog or ini-incinerate. Okay? Pero may mga ilang hospital na direktang itinatapon ito or hinuhukay sa lupa or tinatapon sa mga tubig or sa mga ilog na nakakarating naman ito sa mga karagatan. And then yung landfill, ang landfill ipinagbabawal na rin kasi ang landfill yung pagtambak ng basura sa lupa, then tatabunan ito. So masama ang pagkakaroon ng landfill kasi yung katas ng basura pwedeng masipsip ng lupa yan at sumama sa groundwater or sa tubig sa ilalim ng lupa. Ito yung tinatawag natin yung katas ng basura as leachate. Okay, so yung leachate na yan ay isang uri ng katas na galing sa mga basura na pwedeng makakontaminate or makapollute sa tubig. Then the toxic waste here, maraming uri ng toxic waste lalo na yung mga chemicals galing sa mga plantations, mga agricultural farms, industries, etc. Even sa mga hotels and even at home, maraming naipoproduce na toxic waste, hindi lang natin napapansin. May mga toxic waste considered na rin yung mga sabon na galing sa pag naglalaba tayo. May mga sabon na hindi environmental friendly, so kino-consider din natin yung mga na toxic waste. And then the coal industry also has the production of waste. So yung mga coal, yung mga bato na parang charcoal, yung mga ash na nakikreate pag nagagamit yan, and even the smoke that comes out of the coal also can promote the production of waste. And exporting of hazardous waste. So may mga ilang tao na ginagawa nilang business yung hindi tamang paraan ng pagtatapon ng mga hazardous waste. Ilalagay sa mga drum and then they are going to transport that particular container and throw it in other places. Gaya nung sinasabi natin na waste disposal incidents. Okay? So may mga tao na kumikita sa mga ganyan pero ito ay isang masamang gawain. This is not allowed and it is against the law or environmental laws. So we have already discussed some of the causes and effect of global environmental issues. So the next slide that you are viewing is on the mitigation or giving solution to the different problems that we have narrated. Okay? So what are the priority issues that needs mitigation or solution? So ito yung mga kailangan ng lunas Okay, so ang una na kailangan ng lunas or mitigation ay yung pababa natin sa global warming. So kailangan na natin na bigyang tuon, or there is already a need that we are going to focus in the giving of solutions with regards to global warming, because if we will not be able to control global warming, it will have a very detrimental effect not only to humans but also to the whole planet itself. Also, another issue that needs solution is afforestation, or the excessive deforestation of our remaining forest. So pag hindi natin kinontrol at napabayaan natin yan, wala nang matitira ng mga kahoy, and later on, the younger generation will not anymore know what is a tree look like. And then also another priority issue that needs solution is that there should be the creation of clean energy for the future. So we should look for alternative sources of clean energy like the solar or wind energy, and also reviving the world's ocean. So when we say reviving the world's ocean, there is a need for us to start cleaning our oceans and removing those plastics or garbages that are floating, defending endangered wildlife and wild places. So many of our wildlife or animals are becoming extinct because of human anthropogenic activity. So many animals have already gone extinct, but we are working on alternative way in reviving them through the use of clonal technology, or we are trying to clone them and return them back. Next, we have protecting our health by preventing pollution. When we prevent pollution, we always keep ourselves healthy. So one of the major causes of illnesses and even diseases is when a certain area or environment is heavily polluted. So to prevent the occurrence of diseases, there is a need for us to start cleaning and clearing these pollutants. Another one is ensuring safe and sufficient water. If we will not start in ensuring the preservation of our remaining water sources and water reservoirs, there will come a time that there will be a severe drought and there will be no more any sources of water. So we should start cleaning the remaining bodies of water and start conserving them. Then next, we have fostering sustainable communities. We should create communities that are self-sustaining, that they can provide their own needs, that they can provide their own resources, and at the same time, they are to protect the environment. Next, we should also practice organic farming. So when we say organic farming, we should remove ourselves in using chemicals or synthetic chemicals like fertilizers, pesticides. We should use organic substances because using organic is healthier to our body as well as to our environment. And the last one is implement and practice 3 R's, which is reuse, reduce, and recycle. So when we say reuse, so kailangan nating gamitin uli yung mga bagay na pwede pang gamitin. So we can reuse like bottles and other materials that can still be used. Then reduce, when we say reduce, we reduce the use of plastics and other non-biodegradable materials. We can use leaves like banana leaves for our food or for our takeouts instead of using plastic. And recycle, as much as possible, we should recycle and reuse in order to reduce our uh, production of garbages or waste products. Now, in mitigation, it is not the only sole job of a single person, of a single nation, but it is the job of the whole nations. So lahat ng tao, hindi lang sila, dapat tayo ay magtulong-tulong in order to mitigate or to prevent the occurrence of environmental problems in the future. So without unity, we cannot be able to mitigate these problems that we have with regards to our environment. So together we stand, united we fall.